guide. You can click here and you can see all of these various different articles that you can use to get started with ClubRunner. And we have a bunch of different articles for regular members, for any club administration, and just things like how to edit your website. And we also have some articles for those of you that work on the district level as well. So I just wanted to get started. This will be our club website for today. And I did want to preface this by saying this is an internal website. So this is something that we use for testing on our end. So if something may or may not work properly, but I'll let you know whenever that's the case, and I'll kind of try to show you as best as I can the proper product. Just so again, this is an internal testing website, so just be aware of that. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to learn your club website's URL or their homepage. Usually it'll be something along the lines of portal.clubrunner.ca / a bunch of numbers. Some clubs may have what's called a domain name, which will, in the case of this club, it could be something like tavistock.rotary.org. You can type that in, you can visit it, or you can just search your club name on Google. Chances are you'll find it there. So when you get here, you'll find a page that looks somewhat similar to this. Most clubs will be able to change this up, make it look different. But if you want to log in and use all the feature functionality in there, you will have to log in first. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're on here, in the top right corner of this page, you can click Member Login. And it will bring you to this page here, where you can enter in your login name, you're entering your password, and then you can finally just log in. If you don't know your login information, you can click on the Forget Login Name or Forget Password links to go in there and quickly recover your login information. You'll be sent an email you'll be sent an email with all of your information within it and a link to update your password. So as we can see here, we're going to log in as William Bradley. It's already been entered in for me just because I have it saved. So we're just going to click log in, and it will redirect us back to our homepage. But this time, if you look at the top right corner, you can see our name, Bill Bradley, and some other options are here now. We can now choose to go to the member area, or we can log out. In this case, where we want to start to access all of the various different functionality of ClubRunner, you want to click on Member Area. And this will direct you to this page here. This is the internal back-end page for your club's website, where all of the management that's where all the management occurs. So things like everything will be displayed on this page. This look may change depending on the level of access that you have. So some members, or like regular club members, may only see a couple of these boxes here, and it will limit their options. But as you become more and more privileged through what's called access levels, which I will get to in a minute, more and more options will open up to you. So for regular club members, and actually you can see, sorry, I actually kind of forgot about this. See, I learned something new every day. You can see the various different options for what it will look like for each of the various different types of members just by clicking on these options here. So if we were logged in as a regular club member, we will see this view. And this is everything that you will be able to view and do as a regular club member. So just really quickly, so we can go over how you can edit your profile and update your information. You can go over onto this page and just click on this Edit My Profile option. And your profile will be brought up. Let's just give it just give it a minute here so we can load up our profile. Again, this is an internal testing site, so things may be a little bit slower than normal. It doesn't seem to like me today. We'll just give it a minute here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is what your profile will look like. You can see your name and all of your like member details, your address, stuff like that. You can review all of that if you would like. So we have Rotary information, biography information, things like your events and committees that you are a member of. They'll be listed here in this commitments page. As you can see here, right now we don't really have anything, but if we did, it would all be shown here. There are a couple settings here as well. For example, here we can change our login name, and this is the access level that I was speaking about earlier. The site administrators, they'll be able to update your access level, and that will change kind of the various different tools that you'll be able to access on the website. And again, also there's this privacy option here, so that you can choose to opt out of club emails, district emails, stuff like that, if you really don't want to be receiving those. But we'll really quickly just go over how to edit your information. So once you go to the tab that you do want to edit, you can just click on this blue edit option that's here. Oh no, 1 second. Oh no, okay. Well, not the greatest situation, but you'll be able to click on edit on this page. A bunch of text boxes and things will appear for all of these various different fields. You can update them as you see fit, and then you'll be able to, at the bottom of the page, just click save, and all of that information will be saved onto your profile as you go. So if any of this information you see here may be out of date, you can go ahead and you can update that. All right. So that's kind of just what I wanted to go over quickly about how to, for regular club members, how to maintain their information. And now we're kind of going to go into the more club administrative side. So one of the most important things that I found are your club members. So it's important to know how you can update, add, and terminate all of your club members. And again, that I did kind of just show you how you can update it. So it's very much a similar process, but there is an administrative view where you can quickly get to everyone's profile as a level or as a site administrator. So in this top navigation bar, you can click on membership and then members list. And you'll be able to see this list of all of your club members. So we can see we have a few here. And if we want to edit one of these members, we can just quickly click on their name. And it will give you their information. And you can go about and you can edit it just the same way as you would your own information. But this is an administrative view. Only site administrators are able to do this. Site administrators and club executives, I should say, will be able to edit others people's profiles. If you're just a regular club member, you'll only be able to edit your own. So now now we're going to go into how you can add and terminate your club members. So this is what I think is kind of the more important part. So we're going to want to go back to this member list. And instead of clicking on one of these names, you'll see here this add new member button. We also have a transfer new member button. We'll go over that very quickly as well, if this is an existing Rotarian. If this is just a new Rotarian and you're adding them to a member of your club, you can go ahead and click add new member. And it will load up the page where you can start entering in all of their information. So we can choose their membership type, such as active, honorary, satellite, corporate. Some of these options may not be available to you on your website. If not, you can contact our support team and we'll be able to assist. But for now, we'll just leave it as an active member. You can enter in their Rotary number if they have one. In this case, we don't have that, so we're just going to leave it blank for now. We can enter in the date that they joined the club. If you click on this little calendar icon, you'll be able to select the date more accurately. But for now, we'll just leave it October 27th. And then here you go. You can enter in all of their member details, their address, things like that. So we're just going to do myself real quickly. So Michael C. And then we can put in our email. And then here we can put in our gender here, and we can continue on with our address. So we'll quickly put in an address here. And then here, if you want to, the login name and a password will automatically be entered in for them. This is just temporary information. This is what they'll use to log in for the first time, and then they'll be asked to change their password whenever they log in for the first time. And if you want to send a notification to them, just that you've been added, just make sure that this is checked, and you can select which email template you like to send out. By default, it is this welcome new member, but you can change that if you really wanted to. And once you have all of the information correctly set, everything's good to go. You can just click on add member. So now the system will process all of this information, and it will create their new profile here. So as you can see, we now have a profile for Michael C. And all of this information is here for you to view as you want. And again, let's say that you forgot something. Again, you can click on this edit option here, go in, and you can make all those changes as you want. But so this month we've gained a new member, Michael C. But unfortunately, one of our members has decided to leave the club. We can go over to this members list, and then we can find that member in this list here. So in this case, we'll have Kimberly Smith. They are no longer with the club, and we want to terminate their membership. So what we can do here, once you find them in this list, instead of clicking on their name, you can go over here to this action column and click on change status. This will bring up a new page with a couple different options that you can choose. You can terminate their membership. You can change their membership status. So this will change their membership status from active to an honorary member. Or you can change their membership type. For now, we're just going to go over quickly how to terminate them. So what you're going to want to do, go to terminate membership, put in the date of their termination when it's the effective termination date. You select a reason. If there's none here, you can click other and put in your own. So let's say for now they left because they wanted to take care of their health. And then you can go and you can choose to report this termination to Rotary International, or you can not report it to Rotary International. This option plays into a feature that we call RI integration. So RI integration will allow you to automatically send any updates made within ClubRunner to your membership over to Rotary, so that it's automatically managed through ClubRunner, and it's updated on Rotary's end as well. So that way you don't really have to make changes in two places at once. It just does it for you. So for now, we don't have our integration enabled, which we will be going over shortly. So we'll just click do not report this termination. And then once that's done, you can click on terminate member. And that member will then be, all of their information will be removed, and they will be terminated from the club. So you can see that their name is no longer listed here. But if we go over here to this inactive members list, we'll be able to find Kimberly Smith in this inactive members list as an ex-member. So they have been successfully terminated from the club within ClubRunner. And I did want to go quickly over this transfer new member option. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you exactly how it functions, but I will go over very quickly. There are 3 options here where you can search. This will allow you to search for existing Rotarians within our Rotary's own databases. And so you can quickly add them as a member of your club. So you can either put in their Rotary ID, you can put in an email address, or you can, if you don't have either of those, you can search up their name, their first name, last name, and their country. And once you click search, if they find a matching target on Rotary's end, they will be listed here underneath member details, where you will be able to add them to your club. Sorry about that. I just had a quick cough. All right. So we've gone over how you can add members, how you can terminate them, and how you can update their information. So now the one thing that I really do want to show you is RI integration, which again will whenever you make an update on ClubRunner, it will automatically send that information over to you, over to Rotary, so that any changes that you make on ClubRunner will also be made on Rotary. So that way it keeps the 2 information in sync, so that there are no issues with that. So let's get right into it. So to access RI integration and to set this up, in the top navigation menu, you can click on RI integration. And the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to set it up. So to do that, go to RI integration settings here. So as you can see, right now we do not have RI integration enabled. As you can see, this is not checked. There are, to turn on RI integration, there are a couple steps that you do need to take. First off, you will need to log in to My Rotary as a club executive, and you will need to set ClubRunner as a club vendor. That will allow us to access your club's information in Rotary's databases, so that we can then start pulling information and sending information. If we are not marked as a club vendor, then you will not be able to turn on our integration, and you will not see this checkbox here. We do have some steps written out on this page, but if you do need help setting that up, you can go to My Rotary, speak with the Rotary support team. They'll be able to help you with that on their end. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do for this first step, just because we don't have a direct access to it, and we only have access to information after that vendor has been set up. But once it has been, it's very easy to set up our integration. All you need to do is come to this RI integration settings page and just check this box here. That's all you got to do. Just got to check that box. Once this box has been checked, you'll be able to, our integration will be enabled. It may take up to 24 hours for it to fully be enabled. But after that 24 hours, it will be good to go. Let's see here.
Save.
Yep. I like how I tested this before everything happened, and now it's giving me problems. That's always fun.
Michael, did you save it?
Yes. So this option will do it automatically for you.
Oh, will it?
Yeah. Just give me one moment here. I want to log out very quickly and log back in. Okay, so give me one moment. I'm going to switch to a different account just so we can make sure that this works for you, because I really want to make sure that this process is I show you this process. So just give me one moment. Okay. So in this case, I'm actually on the district's website, but the process is essentially the same on the club website. So as you can see here, we have enabled it, and we can see integration confirmed on this date. So RI integration has now been enabled. The next step for this is you want to set up your RI integration privacy settings. So in case your club doesn't necessarily want to have some information sent over to Rotary, you don't feel comfortable maybe sharing certain phone numbers or email addresses, things like that, you can come down to the bottom of this RI integration settings page, and then you can select the you can deselect any of these options that you may not like. So let's say we don't want to share our business phone with them or with Rotary. You can unselect that, just click update privacy. And now RI integration will not synchronize that information for you. So any business phone that you may have listed in your profile will not be sent over to Rotary, just in case the club members may not want that. And then the next option, the next thing I'd like to show you is what we call the compare and synchronize page. This will allow you to view the information of your club members within ClubRunner, as well as the information. On Rotary's end as well. Let's try to get this again. It is always, or when you're trying to show it off in person, that everything decides to not work for me. Just give me 1 second again. I'm very sorry about this. And sorry about that. Again, just wanted to reiterate, this is an internal testing site, so some things may not work perfectly 100% of the time. But these issues shouldn't be a problem on the live club website. So this is what the compare and synchronize page will look like. You can find a list of all your club members within ClubRunner, and you'll be able to compare their information that is seen on Rotary's end, as well as on ClubRunner. So, and there are a couple different areas here. So for example, we have members in sync. So this area will list any club members that are correctly synchronized with Rotary and are on both ends. So you can see Marcy Bosomworth, they are in the members in sync section. So they are synchronized and connected properly. There's also the member name mismatches. So these are members where their name in ClubRunner and their name in Rotary may not match 100%. So as you can see here, you can see name in ClubRunner. We have Peter Francisco, but in name in Rotary, it's just kind of some jumbles of letters. So we would want to get that fixed. And I will definitely show you how we can do that in a minute. And we have member type mismatches. So this will list any members that may be listed as an active member or an inactive member in ClubRunner, but they're actually listed as the opposite or as some other type like honorary on Rotaries End. So for these examples, Jennifer Robertson and Kimberly Smith, they are both listed as ex-members, but on Rotaries End, they are currently still listed as a member. So that's another thing that we may want to get fixed. And then finally, we have this members missing in RI section. These and the members missing in ClubRunner section, these kind of go hand in hand. So we can see all of these members here under members missing in RI. These are members that we have in ClubRunner. We have all of their information in ClubRunner, but we don't have their information listed on Rotaries End. So they're not, they're either not a Rotarian yet, or they're just not listed as a member, and they've never been a member of the club. So they're missing. Their information is missing essentially. And it's the same thing for members missing in ClubRunner, but the other way around. So these are members listed as members in Rotaries End, but they're not in ClubRunner. And we'll very quickly go over how you can fix each of these issues very quickly. So for members missing in RI and members missing in ClubRunner, it's pretty simple. All you got to do, add member to ClubRunner or add member to RI. And the information will either be pushed or pulled to ClubRunner or to RI, depending which one you're working with. So this one may take a little bit just to process because it needs to read all of the information on Rotaries End and pull it and process and make a new record for it in ClubRunner. But as you can see, this member was on Rotaries End, but not in ClubRunner. And now they have successfully been added to ClubRunner. And you can see they are now listed in members in sync. So they are now synchronizing correctly. And then we'll go down to members missing in RI, do the exact same thing. This will take the information in ClubRunner and it will make, it'll add them as a member of the club on Rotaries End. Well, in this case, let's see if we have any new ones.
October 27th, Michael,
No.
you.
Yep, there it is. Thank you very much, Penny. So now we can see that record, that Michael C record we had created earlier has now been sent over to RI, and it will be processed within 24 hours. And that new record will be added as a Rotarian and added as a member of the club. So in this case, it may not take, it may not be instant, but that information has been sent and it will be processed. So the next big thing that I want to show you is how to actually use the compare tool within compare and synchronize. So for this example, we'll go with one of these member name mismatches. We'll go for Jonathan Summers. If we come over to Jonathan Summers' name, click on compare, and it will take all of the information and it will generate a big list to display the information in ClubRunner and the information on RI so that you can take a look and you can compare them. So as you can see here, on the left side, we have all of the ClubRunner information. And on the right side, we have all of the information from Rotary International. So in the case of Jonathan Summers, it looks like they have their, as it is listed under member name mismatch, their name is incorrect. So using this compare tool, we can get this corrected. And I find this tool is very easy to use. It may be a little bit confusing if you have never seen it before, but that's what we're here for. So there is, if you see down here, right in the middle of these two columns, we have these arrows that are here. Some of them are orange, pointing towards Rotary International. We have equal signs, and then we have some of these ones that are pointing to the left towards ClubRunner. These arrows indicate the direction in which information is flowing. So for example, if we wanted to update the information on Rotary's end and replace it with the information from ClubRunner, so for example, Jonathan Summers' name, and we wanted to add that over to Rotary, we'll want these arrows to point towards Rotary. But if for some reason we want it to go the opposite way, we can just click on one of the arrows, and as you can see, it has switched directions. So that has changed the direction that that piece of information will flow. So right now we have it set so that the first name, it will take this string of letters and it will bring this string of letters over into ClubRunner and replace the name Jonathan. However, David, the middle name David, and their last name Summers will replace that information on Rotary's end. So for in this case, we do want it to be Jonathan David Summers. That's their name, so that's what we want to read it as on Rotary's end. And you can see here that their address, they don't have an address on Rotary's end. So I'll have that all information pull as well. But for any reason you didn't want some of this information to be synchronized, on this left-hand side, you can deselect them as well. So any that are deselected will not be synchronized. So for this example, we'll just make sure that their address is synchronized. And then once we're ready to go, we can click on Synchronize Selected Fields, click OK. And then the system will start to process all of that information, and it will send all of that data back and forth between ClubRunner and between Rotary International. And then as you can see here, some of this information has been scheduled to be done with it's all been processed and added to a queue to be updated on Rotary's end. Sometimes we can get lucky and it'll happen almost right away. So let's just try to refresh the page to see if we can get that. Just give it one moment. Not quite yet. So we'll come back to that in a minute, just so we can show you that it has been done. But as you can, for Michael C, we can see they're now listed as a member as well. So that is the compare and synchronize tool. This is a very powerful and important tool that I find, and I from a lot of the clubs that I've worked with, it seems like this tool is very much underused. It lets you have a very good idea of all of the information available to your club and all of your members, and just to make sure that everything matches up and that there's no issues between ClubRunner and Rotary. I always like to stress that this is an important tool and that you should at least familiarize yourself with it so that you can get used to it. And very, very quickly, I did also want to go over what we call the member updates archive. This is a log essentially of all of the changes that are processed through RI integration. So if we click member updates archive up here, and under our integration, you can see a list of everything that we've done recently and the status of those changes. So as you can see, Jonathan Summers, that information that we just sent over has been completed. So that's all good now. If we click on details under actions, this window will pop up and you can see details of the changes that were made. So you can see the name of the member that was updated, the type of change was made, so in this case a name change, when it was done, and the current status of it, so we know it's complete. And then you can see the set of old data that we were replacing and the new data that it was replaced with. So that this is just a good way to review everything that's been changed and to make sure everything's good. You'll see a couple issues are appearing up. So in this case, RI member ID mismatch for William Bradley. This just in this case, it looks like their Rotary ID is incorrect. So the way we would want to fix that, just go in, make sure that update the Rotary ID in their profile, make sure that's all okay, and then then you'll be able to use that compare and synchronize tool to resend any of those changes that may have failed. So the compare and synchronize tool and the member updates archive, two very important tools in maintaining your membership. And again, sometimes some of these changes or issues may not be super clear to you on how you can fix it. But if you send us an email, the support team at support@clubrunner.ca, we will be more than happy to help you and get that all sorted with you. We'll make sure you understand what happened, how you can fix it, and how to prevent it moving forward. But there's no issue if there's no issue if there is an issue. We're glad to help. And then one more thing that is kind of very important for clubs is their attendance. So we're going to very quickly go over how you can maintain your attendance for your club for any club meetings and things like that. So in this top navigation bar, you can click on attendance, and then you can click on the meetings. So right now we don't have any meetings here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to create one. So if we go over here to add meeting, you can select your date, add a description. So we'll say ClubRunner training just for this meeting, click save. And you can now see that this meeting has been added to our list of meetings. If we click on the date of the meeting over here, it will open up this page where you can see a list of all of your club members. And very quickly, you can go through, select everyone that has attended your club meeting. So we'll just kind of select a few. And then we can click on the save option. And now we have stats on how many members have attended the meeting, how many may have missed the meeting, and we will get an actual percentage based on how many members have attended. So we can see only 68% of our members have attended this meeting. So there's a lot you can do with things like meetings. You can also set up leaves of absence. So if any members are on a leave of absence, you don't want this to affect their attendance records, you can go in, add a leave of absence for any specific member you would like. So we can put in any reason you would want, put in a start date, end date. So we'll say from the 25th to the 31st, Michael C. or myself, we're on a leave of absence. Click add, and they will no longer be, their attendance record will no longer be affected because they are on this leave of absence.
Michael, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If a member updates their own information, how does it get to RI?
All right, so that's actually a very good question. So as long as RI integration has been enabled, if a member updates their profile, this information is automatically sent over to Rotary. So you don't have to do any changes. This is all done for you. Again, provided RI integration has been enabled.
Right.
If not, you'll want to use that compare synchronize tool after our integration has been enabled, and you'll be able to get all that information processed.
Right. So there's no need to sync to RI if you're an individual updating your member profile.
That's correct. It'll do that all for you.
Great. Are you ready to take some questions?
I just want to finish up this makeups really quickly, and then we can get some questions.
Okay.
All right. So finally for attendance, we just have some makeups. So if a club member misses any meeting, you can apply makeups. You can add them here, just to make sure that their attendance records are correct. So that they have, just to make sure their attendance records are correct. You can go through and you can add a makeup all you got to do, go through, select the member, choose the date, and then you can choose to either bank it, auto assign, or apply to a meeting. We're not going to go over these specifically today, but just know that this is an information that you can use and that it is available to you.
Okay, great.
And then that should just about wrap up the presentation itself. I'll be glad to take some questions now.
Okay, do we have any questions? Please raise your hand. You can do that in your, I'll have to go through to look for them.
If you open up your participation panel, you'll be able to put in a yes, no, things like that. You'll be able to raise your hand and that'll indicate that you do have a question for us. And we will unmute you. We'll give you a moment to speak. And I'll answer your question as best as I can. If not, you can type it into the chat and we'll do our best to get to it later on. I
included in the chat the ClubRunner support email. And if you email them, they will get back to you. If you provide a phone number, if you prefer a phone number, if you need a little more hands-on or show me how, they will do that. Oh, okay, Brenda. Let me see. How do I unmute you, Brenda? It's not letting me unmute her.
Here, I believe I can do it here.
Okay.
Brenda, are you unmuted?
I'm going to let
How's
her.
that?
There you go. That's good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Michael. This is very interesting. I have a question about the help button on the ClubRunner. Does it take us right to your club helper, or do we have to access that through the website, the clubsupport.com website?
Yeah, so any links, any links that are displayed on ClubRunner that have to do with help or anything like ClubRunner support, something along those lines, it will bring you directly to our clubrunnersupport.com website.
Okay.
Here you can go through, access all of the articles as you want. If you want to start an email with us, in this corner up in the top here, you can click start a support ticket conversation, and you'll be able to enter in any information that you want. And either myself or one of my colleagues, we will respond to your email.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Brenda.
Anyone else? Looking for hands. Oh, Ann Birmingham. Ann, can you unmute yourself?
Let's see.
There. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, Michael. My question was around privileges. So what, maybe I missed that, but what status, what are the different privileges and who sets privileges?
Okay. So this is another really good question. So within ClubRunner, anyone can actually set privileges up to their own. So for example, if you are this is just one of them for club executives. I'll go over them very quickly as well. Level 50 club executives, they will be able to grant any other club member any access level up to that level 50 level. If that makes sense. If you're a level 30 site administrator, you can grant anyone else level 30 site administrator. And then, so just we can give you a very quick overview of what each of them are. We do have an article on all of these access levels as well. So if you go over here, we can just type access level, and we can see what access levels are there in ClubRunner. And this is a great list of everything that, or each of the access levels that you can have, as well as how you can update an access level. So the ones that I like to think of as the most important is 30, which is a site administrator, so that has full administrative access to every single tool within your club website. There's level 50 Club Executive. This essentially gives you access to all of the membership management tools. And then there's also level 60 Editor, where they will be able to edit, they'll be able to create bulletins, write stories or news articles, create events, things like that, but they won't be able to edit the website edit the website or change like membership information, things like that. And
Just
just a quick note, on the district level, there are a couple other access levels. On the district, we call them access roles actually. And those are slightly different. But for the most part, for clubs, this is what you'll need to worry about. If you're using the district's website, all you got to do is make sure your executives are listed as a club executive within ClubRunner, and that will give them all of the access they need on the district's website.
correct. Rosalind Alakier also has a question. Rosalind?
Hi, thank you for doing this. It's much appreciated. I'd like to ask something about the dues. So for instance, if someone has paid their due for the year, you can look in and see that they've paid their due for the year, but there seems to be an amount remaining that they say they don't owe, that it was from a previous year or years, and it's still there. How do I fix that? And number two, around the same thing, if someone says they're a corporate member, how will that show up in your membership? So say if 2 or 3 people were corporate members, would you see their membership as showing as paid as individuals, or would there something else be there?
Okay, that's all. Those are some really good questions, Rosalind. So in regards to the club dues that may or not be existent, let's see. Well, I'll show if I can go over it very quickly. But again, this wasn't necessarily part of the thing, so I'll just go over it very briefly. In your dues and billing, if there has been a due or fee applied to a specific member's account, you can apply what's called a debit or a credit adjustment. And you'll be able to correct that using those. Right now we don't have any bills created, so unfortunately I won't be able to show you that very easily. But if you go to credit adjustment or debit adjustment, you'll be able to enter it in that information. And you can access that just on the left-hand side of the dues and billing module. Credit adjustment, debit adjustment, you'll be able to enter that information as you would like.
Right.
And this is kind of what the page will look like for you.
So where do you confirm that it can be adjusted if you don't know? If it came from, a couple of years ago and needs to be adjusted, how do you confirm you can adjust it if you weren't the person doing it those couple of years ago?
Okay. If you go to your account statements and you can see everything, you can click show transactions, and then you can click all transactions. So right now we don't have any, so that it won't be able to show it very, very well. But after you click show all transactions, it will show every single bill or payment that has been applied to their account. So you can use that kind of as reference.
Right. And Rosalind, this does not talk to the district or to RI. This section of your website is just usable and viewable by you. Just so you know that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So what about if they were a corporate member? What would show up there? Would it show, say you had 3 people that said they were corporate members, would it show payment for each individual, or would it be called corporate membership?
In this case, the most clubs that I found have applied it to themselves, or apply it to each of the corporate members themselves. Some have an overall corporate membership account and they apply it to that, but that's very much on the club to decide.
And only one member shows up as a member of Rotary, not all 3.
That's correct.
Because on a corporate membership, only one member can be a Rotarian at RI and have RI status. The others are considered more or less substitutes. They come in and come out, and they just like meet in the absence of the corporate member, the head member. And it depends upon what you charge. Some charge more money for corporate membership. So they may charge 200 for a corporate member, 100 for a regular member. So the corporate members charge $200. There are two associate members, let's call them. Although you need to come up with another name for them. They cannot be active members, because if you put them as active members, then RI will bill you, as will the district, for active members. So only one of your corporate membership people can be an active member. Does that make sense? And if
that makes sense. So you terminate them if they're not the active member, so you won't be charged?
No, you call them something else.
Okay.
You designate them as another other user, or Michael, do you have a suggestion for that? Do you have a corporate member thing now that you can use we didn't used to have?
Yeah, so as Penny said, you can create the secondary corporate members as an other user. Other users essentially act as unofficial members. So any other user will not be synchronized to Rotary, but they'll have all of the same access to ClubRunner as a regular member would.
So where do you do that, Michael?
Once you're viewing,
designate them as the associate member or whatever.
Other user. Okay.
other user, yeah.
Your
So
other
you'll
user?
on your membership listing. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing here. If you go to your active members list, on the left-hand side, you can click other users list, and then you can create an other user just like you would a regular member. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, I recommend looking at the ClubRunner support website. And again, if you do want to speak with one of us, you can send us an email as well.
Now, because we're over time, I'm going to cut us short. I want to thank Michael, and if everybody will just give him a round of applause for being so wonderful to help us. We appreciate so much that you spent this time with us. And if there are those of you who think we should take this further and do a more advanced training, we can certainly do that too. You know how to reach me, let me know. And if we have a substantial number of you wanting to do it, we'll do that too. So Michael, where are you? Can you stop sharing your screen for a minute so we can see your face?
Good idea. Second, there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us, for giving us so much of your time at this hour of night. We appreciate it. And for all of you, just thank you for joining us. And anytime you have a question, ClubRunner's there. I try to help with my limited ability too, because I use the district website more than the club website. So I'm not as up to it, but great. I'm glad to see you guys interested in using it and learning new tools to use. So thank you very much and have a great night.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for coming. I know we had a couple hiccups, but I'm glad. I hope you guys have a good learning experience from this.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ben. Thanks, everybody, for joining in.